Hey guys, welcome to the Trash Picture Show. With the sad passing of Sean Connery, I've decided to review one of my favourite sci-fi thrillers to star him. It is 1981's Outland. And this is an interesting movie because it's essentially a remake of the classic Gary Cooper western High Noon with a sci-fi twist. The main body of the story takes place on a mining operation on a moon that orbits Jupiter called Io, and the miners work super long shifts in very dangerous, arduous conditions, but the bonuses are big. And to kind of reap more bonuses and benefits, they resort to taking a particular narcotic, which lets them work for extended periods. However, they end up burning out, and it affects them psychologically. For example, one guy rips off his suit because he thinks there's spiders inside eating him, and another guy takes a prostitute hostage with a knife, and he's threatened to gut her, and it's obvious that the drug is having adverse effects. But the head of the mining operation, played by Peter Boyle, that's Ray's dad from Everybody Loves Raymond, manager Shepard, decides to turn a blind eye because his profits are going through the roof. Simultaneously, as these incidents happen, the Io base receives a new marshal called William Shepard, played awesomely by Sean Connery. And while his colleagues are willing to kind of turn their backs or look away at the incidents, Shepard isn't. He's a very upstanding, kind of by the book, virtuous kind of police officer. And he butts heads with Shepard on this. Shepard's like, look, just, turn a blind eye and you'll benefit. Everyone on the station will benefit. And again, Shepard's like, there's people dead. I can't ignore this. So he actually ends up finding the consignment of drugs coming in and destroys it, much to disdain of Shepard and his partners. So Shepard hires a bunch of assassins to come to the base to kill or get rid of O'Neill, and O'Neill asks his colleagues and other members of the staff for help, and they refuse to help him. So he has to formulate a plan to basically take these guys out and save his own skin. And it's pretty cool because on the other side of Jupiter there is a ship bringing the assassins, and O'Neill is basically at a station having to look at a clock, a countdown before the ship arrives. So he has to formulate a plan and decide how he's going to dispatch these guys. And again, it's pretty nail biting. It's very like it. There's a lot of parallels with Alien, which isn't really surprising because this was produced by the Ladd company, Alan Ladd Jr., who, as I told you before, he was one of the driving forces behind Alien. This is a taunt sci-fi thriller. There's no action. This isn't Aliens. This is very parallel with Alien, and there's a lot of parallels with Alien, but I'll get to them in a moment. But it's a slow burner. O'Neill basically has to try and suss out, well, how am I going to take out this guy, or what can I do here, or how am I going to kind of get rid of the drugs, or how am I going to subdue this individual. And it's pretty cool. And Connery gives a really great performance. It's very sad at the start because he ends up kind of neglecting his family, and he loses his family due to his duty. He's just that dedicated to being a marshal. And you can see that's the driving force on why he wants to stop these guys from peddling drugs. He's that dedicated to the job. Whereas the other character, Peter Boyle's character of Shepard, is this fantastic kind of corporate shill who we actually learn is the reason. He's the guy who's bringing the drugs in, and he has his own agenda. If he can kind of make the workers kind of more productive, his profit margin goes up and he benefits. So it's essentially kind of the virtue of law versus corporate greed, and it's a really cool kind of power play. And again, lots of parallels with the classic Western High Noon, where as he asks for help and someone someone asks him, "Well, what about your men?" and he just goes, "My men aren't worth shit." So yeah, it's a great movie, great kind of real tense build up. Um, the things also I love about this movie is this, obviously having Alan Ladd Jr. involved. He brought on a lot of the staff and a lot of the creative team behind Alien. So the models, the set of IO, the vehicles, the vessels, the biopod, everything. The miniatures are fantastic. And the rear projection is fantastic. Just everything. It looks amazing, and it's one of those movies where it's very hard to kind of distinguish what's a miniature and what's a set. If I had to cite any criticism, some of the visual effects on the characters decompressing looks pretty silly. It's one of those things where you can tell their head's just a balloon ready to pop. But yeah, this movie, as I said, shares a lot of DNA with Alien. The opening credit crawl even has the letters fade in, very much like the opening credits Alien. And the set design was obviously influenced by the 1971 Ridley Scott movie, but I think this movie has actually influenced stuff in the Alien franchise's expanded media. For example, a lot of the sets and costumes seem to have found their way into Alien Isolation. And like the marshals in this movie, the marshals in Outland look very much like the colonial marshals in Alien Isolation, and their weapons, like even down to the fact they all carry the kind of sawed down shotguns, is very much like the marshals on Sevastopol. And in a way, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that this movie takes place in the same universe as Alien. As we know, the Nostromo was like brimming mineral ore back to Earth. It could have easily had made a stop off at Io. So again, the DNA is there, and this movie could definitely be set in the same universe. If you get a chance, also try and track down the digital version of a fantastic comic book adaptation of this movie. It was originally released, I think, in 1982 in heavy metal, and the artwork is phenomenal. You can probably get a collected edition now, but it would probably set you back a nice bit. And if I was going to get it, I'd probably track it down digitally. But yeah, this is kind of a hidden gem of a movie, and if you like Alien, you'll definitely like this. If you're more a fan of Aliens, you might find this a bit of a slow burner. But yeah, the performances are great. Sean Connery kicks ass. I think this is one of his best performances in a movie. A lot of people say Untouchables is. I think this is better. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, go check out Outland, because it's well worth a look. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.